Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Play yet another no-name MAME game. Today's no-name MAME game is, of course, Crazy Climber. And actually, looking at that screen for a 1980 screen, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so a little change up in events. I've retired the arcade stick temporarily for this game, because evidently this game insists on a twin stick style. So, have you ever played the game Q-Op? It's a neat little flash game where, you have got like 4 buttons, all of which control the main character's legs individually. Well, in this game, basically you do the same thing, except it's with twin sticks. Damn. So, I'm controlling the guy using the twin sticks, but honestly, at this point in time, I have no idea how my actions via the sticks translate into the actions of the guy. It's a little unintuitive. Like, you can't just press up and have the guy go up. You're like actually controlling his limbs. I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like you really have to see it to really kind of experience fully what you're doing. Just to kind of give you a little taste. Well, right now I'm stuck. I want to get him all the way to the right, but Jeez, okay. And then to go up, I've so far been able to... So the windows, of course, like most mortal human beings, his fingers are very much... Oh god, that's not going to turn out well, is it? Something tells me you don't get bonus points for collecting items. So right now I've been having some success with dodging the stork. Gosh. I realize I look like a fool right now. And while the other games, yeah, sure, that's my fault. This game, it is not my fault. This game is, like, ridiculous. I mean, so far I've been... Oh, God, no. Okay. Alright. No. Don't do that. No. There we go. Sure. So right now I'm climbing up with the, putting left, up, and down, alternating on the sticks. And if you do it fast enough, then he'll go fast. But if you do it fast enough, then he'll start going down, which, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I have no idea how what I'm doing makes sense. And, I mean, this game came out in, like, the 80s. I can only shudder to think what gamers then thought of this game's crazy. Even by our standards today, I mean... You don't see a heck of a lot of games quite like this, where, like, you've got 2 twin sticks, and it's marvelously straightforward what exactly you need to do. Just kind of think of Konami's Track and Field, except you have to play it like Q-Op. Oh, no, okay. And it's especially painful, too, because it's kind of easy to figure out, like, what you need to do, but it's hard to figure out, like, how to actually achieve what you're doing. Because, I mean, right now, I want to make it all the way to the left, all the while dodging a stupid frigging bird. But, alas, the controller is now really cooperating with us. Good gosh. Just as a little side note that might not affect too many people, right now I'm... Right now I'm using the Wii controller, which is a nice... I mean, the 2 analog sticks, they barely have any analogicity to them. But that actually makes them pretty ideal for arcade games, because then it's kind of like you've got 2 arcade sticks. I mean, they've got, like, little to no give, and they're pretty accommodating to you doing stuff. This game does have some nice voice samples to go for it. It's a little cheesy, but I can imagine that being mind-blowing back in the day. Not really... Oh my good lord. It's like... Jesus Christ. I have to get past him, huh? This game, it's like one terrible surprise after another. Like, I mean, a lot of games, they throw obstacles at you, and you're like, oh boy, new recolor of enemy. But this one, it's like, the heck, I haven't even figured out the controls yet. Now you want me to, challenge stuff? Come on. that high score, it's still there. And yet, I mean, a lot of the difficulty of this game just comes from, like, mastering the hilariously unstraightforward controls. So, I mean, you are tempted a little bit to keep playing back and keep playing it over and over again, just because you know that if you fail, it's not necessarily because you suck. It could just be because the controls were just a little too much for you at that point, and then as you figure it out, then the controls become more manageable. I don't know. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you think about it at all, like, think about what you're trying to do, you have no idea. It's not gonna work. But if you just kind of sit back, let it all be free, and just let the guy do the work, then, I don't know, you get this surreal, magical experience where you know you're in control of what's happening on screen, and yet you are completely incapable of comprehending how exactly you're making that happen. I guess it'd be kind of like if you were, like, new to a sport or something and, like, trying to pick it up, and then you start, like, going through the actions, and you have no idea, like, how you're supposed to do things, or, like, if what you're doing is right or good or anything. But you just kind of do it, and then in those beginning times before you know anything, then it seems like... yeah. Anyway, the point is, I don't know quite what I'm doing. It doesn't... I think a bit of it is that, like, the guy can only do certain things at certain times. Like, he can't just always grab left. Sometimes he can inch across, sometimes he can't. Oh, wow. That was masterful, if I do say so myself. I don't know, he's... okay. Keep cool, man. You've got this. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, now again, we're running into that point where it's like I don't quite know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. I don't know, I mean, it's like you see someone else do it and you're like, man, that's crazy, but you do it yourself and all of a sudden it starts making more sense. Well, why it's so hard. Like, how you control it doesn't make sense. Uh-oh. I can feel the impending doom. Oh no! Oh no! This man is not Spider-Man. Well, I think... well, alright, I can give it another go. But I do want to stress just how unique an experience this must have been in the 80s. Because, I mean, a lot of games... well, it seems like a lot of games were sort of shoot-'em-ups in the vein of Space Invaders. But, I mean, most games would basically only have one stick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pac-Man was out. There was another big thing. But a game like this, where you've got this crazy, innovative control scheme, and then, I mean, the graphics, they might not seem like a whole bunch, but again, this was the age of the space shoot-'em-up, where, like, you base it in space because that was a lot easier to animate. It's... go for it! I mean, this game's graphics are pretty detailed and honestly pretty amazing for the time. I mean, I booted it up. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's an 80s game, but if you weren't too sure, then it's something. I wonder if they ever made, like, a Nintendo port of this. Like, you could just use both controllers somehow, player 1 and 2. That would be, like, one heck of a game. Because, I mean, you can just imagine, like, kids just picking this game up and, like, starting to play, and they're like, what the heck? And it just even looks distinct. Because, I mean, what kind of main character has a green jumpsuit? I mean, red, sure, but green? And it's like a full bodysuit. It's not even, like, overalls and a shirt or anything. Okay. Yeah. Oh, man. I wonder if real mountain climbing is anything at all is anywhere near as difficult as this. Oh, come on. There's no punching them in the face button? Yeah, this arcade cabinet, I don't think it has any buttons. I mean, of course it has the player 1 button, player 2 button. I'm pretty sure it's alternating. But if you somehow had co-op play, that would be like... Good golly, that's 4 sticks on one thing. I mean, in this hypothetical scenario where, in this hypothetical example, where we have 2 players simultaneous play, which there's no way. Well, I could say there's no way they would have that, but at the same time, I didn't think there was any way that you would have a game quite like this, so... Okay. No, we just need to go down. Or sides, that's good. I have to say, even though Donkey Kong here looks a little intimidating, not so bad. You just have to know what you're doing. It even has a little musical theme. It's like, hey, we're scaring you more than you should be. Although it's really scary, those giant glass windows that you can't grab hold of at all. I'm assuming those are glass windows. If they were just kind of empty spots, this would be kind of the worst building ever. Alright, so I believe we've already beaten my high score. Let's go for the gold.
Go for it.
I said, let's go for it. Come on, come on. No, no, no. Abort. Just when I thought I had mastered the controls, this game got me. Still, I'm actually really thankful that I found this new and unique experience. I mean, there really aren't any arcade games quite like this, so kudos to you, Crazy Climber. Never played a game like you, and quite honestly, I don't ever want to do it again. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it at least once in my life. Well, on that note, this cat's got a scat.